While you were in TCU, did there ever come a time where you were mistreated in a shower?
That incident with the officer who took me to the shower and he turned it on nothing but hot.
How long were you placed in the shower?
For, I think, 10 or 15 minutes.
Was the door closed while you were in the shower?
Yes.
Was it locked?
Yes.
Did you actually try to open it to get out?
I tried to push it.
Did you do anything else to try to get anyone's attention?
I banged on the door and I yelled for help, but I don't think anybody could hear me.
Was it the same officer who took you to that shower who actually took you out of it?
Yes.
Did he do anything odd when he took you out of the shower?
He just came back smiling, holding up his handcuffs, and asked me if I had a good shower.
While you were in the shower, why were you banging on the door?
Because it was hot and I felt like I couldn't breathe and I wanted to get out of there.
How is it that you did not sustain any injuries to yourself?
I stood away from the water shooting out. There was a certain part where you can there was enough room to stand away from the hot water shooting out. The only thing be hitting you is the steam. So I had to stick my face where the food flap was in order to get oxygen.
How long were you left in the shower?
The first time, approximately 30 minutes.
Approximately 30 minutes?
Yes, sir.
During those 30 minutes, did you ever call for help?
No, sir.
Did you ever bang on the door or the window trying to get someone's attention?
No, sir. I just stayed in the corner and just suffered it out.
And when you say suffered it out, what were you suffering?
The water was hot and it was coming off the wall and splashing everywhere.
Okay, so you had splashes of hot water on you.
Yes, sir.
When you were taken back to your cell, did you tell anyone about what occurred?
No, sir.
And I'm asking you if you told anyone. That includes any other inmates, any correctional staff, anyone from medical, any of your therapists?
No, sir. Nobody, sir. Okay. I was in fear.
Florida prisons have toilet paper, but they're not supplying it to some inmates. By Mary Ellen Class. Herald/Times Tallahassee Bureau. Tallahassee. The four wings of Florida's Tomoka Correctional Institution's E-Cell block are home to some of the prison's most menacing inmates. They have arrived there because of administrative and disciplinary problems, but, in addition to restricting them to confined, two-man cells, the prison also deprives them of society's most basic necessities, like toilet paper. In Prison After Prison over 7 months, Representative David Richardson, D. Miami Beach, reported that toilet paper, toothbrushes, toothpaste, pillows, sheets, shirts and soap were often withheld from inmates, especially those in confinement. Richardson, who has been on a one-man mission to hold the state's troubled prison agency accountable, first observed the toilet paper troubles during a January 19 visit to Baker Correctional Institution in northern Florida. After finding dozens of inmates without toilet paper, toothbrushes, and other supplies, he asked the prison warden to open the storage unit just feet away from the inmate dorms, and deliver hygiene products with him to more than 50 inmates. It is behavior that is intended to dehumanize them, treating them like an animal, Richardson said. The warden at Baker Correctional was embarrassed, he said, as they walked from cell to cell delivering the tissue paper rolls. He complained to headquarters and they were apologetic and put out an all-points bulletin that this was wrong. But the problem continued. During his fourth visit onto Tomoka Correctional near Daytona Beach on Saturday, Richardson said the situation was deplorable. E1-219 No toilet paper, no pillow. Out of TP since 8 a.m. Friday, he wrote in notes he sent to state prison officials Saturday, which he forwarded to the Miami Herald. E1-218, out of TP since last night. E1-210, no pillowcase, roaches and rats a big problem in the cell block. E1-214, no pillow, no soap. His notes detailed his findings of 37 cells. He found one inmate so sick he was throwing up and his roommate had been deprived of his inhaler for more than a month. Another inmate had an open, weeping wound and for days had no treatment. Windows in many of the dorms that have no air conditioning wouldn't crank open for proper ventilation. Several inmates wore shirts and pants that were threadbare, torn or barely hanging on. He ordered immediate medical treatment for the wounded and nauseous inmates and emailed his notes to the Legislative Affairs Director at the Florida Department of Corrections. "This was the worst situation I have witnessed since that infamous Friday night at Baker many months ago," Richardson wrote. "Apparently, your staff still do not understand it is inhumane to deny inmates with basic personal hygiene products, especially toilet paper." Richardson discovered the agency has a policy of 1 roll of toilet paper every 10 days compared to 2 rolls per week at the private prisons and, despite months of complaints to headquarters, they haven't changed their behavior, he said. "We haven't seen improvement. The inmates find substitutes when their supply to toilet paper runs out," Richardson said. "They dampen notebook paper and newspapers. They rip bed sheets and socks, and even wash and reuse them." Richardson knows because he has asked them, "How do you handle this situation?" The department does not withhold hygiene products from inmates and works continually to ensure all health, safety, and hygiene standards are being met within our 149 facilities, said Michelle Glady, agency spokesperson, in an email. The agency welcomes the feedback of Richardson and other legislators as we work together to ensure our facilities are operating transparently and the safety of our staff and inmates, she said. FDC contracts with a pest control service for the rats and roaches, Glady said. And in response to a question about the hygiene habits, she said, "There have been no bacterial outbreaks at Baker or Tomoka. It's really a sad state of affairs that, as a legislator, I have to run around the state and check to see if inmates have toilet paper," he said. For the past 2 years, Richardson has used a provision in state law that allows legislators to inspect Florida's prisons. As the Miami Herald has documented widespread abuse in Florida's prisons, mismanagement of vendor contracts and failing public and private facilities, few other legislators have taken advantage of the law, and change has been slow. Richardson said he has not gone public about his findings about the hygiene products, hoping his reports and complaints to the FDC would change behavior. "I'm not seeking publicity for myself. I'm seeking change," he said Wednesday. "I wanted to work with them and see if they could get their problem under control and change behavior without being publicly shamed." Richardson usually arrives at a prison unannounced but, sometimes, word gets out ahead of him. More than once he has arrived to find unopened toothbrushes and toothpaste rolls in prison cells, freshly distributed in anticipation of his arrival. On Saturday, Tomoka had a 1-hour notice of his arrival. He discovered the prison staff had distributed toothbrushes and toothpaste just before he arrived but, he noted, if toilet paper had been available, this last-minute distribution would have been accomplished as well. He knows inmates lie to him but, he has learned if there's a small number of people, it's more likely the people are lying. But when you see a problem widespread like it was at Tomoka when 20 to 50 people say they are missing something, not all of them are lying, and the department knows that. He also knows that extra toilet paper is considered contraband. If a disruptive inmate can jam toilet paper in the toilet and cause a flood, it can disrupt a cell block, he said. Inmates can roll up toilet paper and make a wick out of it, and toothpaste tubes can be used as a weight, with string pulled from bed sheets, to allow inmates to fish things between one another in cells. The solution, Richardson said, is to modify their access to the toilet paper and other supplies based on their behavior, but, he warned, cumulative little things can lead to explosive problems in a prison. Even if somebody has committed a crime and is sent to state prison, they are still human beings. They are entitled to basic human rights. Representative David Richardson, D. Miami Beach, saw several inmates with torn and threadbare clothing on a visit Saturday to Tomoka Correctional Institution near Daytona Beach. Because the Florida Department of Corrections no longer allows Richardson to take photos, he asked the agency to take photos for him. Photo by Florida Department of Corrections.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.